Hi all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you've been watching my channel for a while, then you know I've been following the case of the unaliving of 13-year-old Madeline Soto, and I've been posting videos about updates in the case and my opinions of the case. And more information is getting released now that Stephan Stearns is preparing for his first SA trial coming up in the beginning of May. If you haven't yet heard some of his calls from jail to his parents, I'll be playing them here in this video for you. Not all of them, but some of them. The ones I was able to record from news channels. Because they're a bit interesting. Not because I believe he's telling his parents the truth about how he found Maddy that awful night, or anything else, but in that he seems to be covering for Jen Soto, Maddy's mother, just like she covered for him with the police, by calling Maddy's death an accident and telling them that Jen is suffering over the loss of her daughter in her own way. Of course, he knows his calls are being monitored, so he isn't giving any real details away. But I guess you could say Jen Soto was devastated about losing Maddy. A few calls showing little to no emotion, other than some fake crocodile tears displayed for police when they told her that Maddy's case had been turned into a homicide investigation. That, of course, after she acted like she couldn't care less that her daughter was missing at all, and she never even bothered to get off her butt to search for her, because she knew she wasn't missing. And we can agree to disagree about this case, because I could be wrong. But Jen Soto will always be my number one suspect. Even though Stephan Stearns has been proven to be a disgusting POS, and it is just easier to pin everything on him. And I won't be surprised one bit when they convict him of Maddy's unaliving. But in my opinion, and my opinion only, he was getting everything he wanted from Jen and Maddy, because Jen allowed it. So he had no reason to end his sick, twisted fun. But agree with me or not, Jen Soto told police she asked Stearns to come stay with them to help her with Maddy. You know, because she was starting a new job, and she apparently couldn't handle being the mother of a 13-year-old who could basically do everything for herself. No, she needed Stearns to come take Maddy to school for her in the morning so she could get some good sleep. Even though she also told police she had to get up that morning to go for a blood appointment anyway. And she had the day off. It's not like her appointment was in the afternoon, and she could sleep all morning if she wanted to. So what? She couldn't get up a little earlier to take her daughter to school? She couldn't have taken Maddy to school late that morning on her way to the doctor's? And why ask Stearns to come on Sunday night to help with Maddy when she knew she didn't have to work on Monday? And if she knew Madeline didn't like getting dropped off at school in Stearns' hoopty car, why didn't she ask him to use her car to drop her off instead? And isn't it interesting that Stearns was supposed to take Maddy to school so Jen could sleep an extra, hour? Maybe hour and a half? But he ended up going into her room to get the dog and woke her up anyway? Well, just long enough for her to conjure up a lie to tell police that she heard Maddy in the kitchen and saw her getting dressed for school. A statement she later took back, saying she never saw Maddy that morning, and she only thought she saw her, but never said she said a single thing to her, like, have a good day, or I love you, or I'll pick you up later. As a matter of fact, when she told police she went to pick Maddy up from school, and she didn't come out of the school, she said she couldn't even remember if she told Maddy she would be off work that day and would be there to pick her up after school. Which was why she said she went to her mother's office that was close to Maddy's school, Because when Jen couldn't pick Maddy up, Maddy would walk there instead. So, if Maddy could walk to her grandmother's office, close to her school, to have somewhere safe to go when Jen couldn't pick her up, why did she need Stearns to help with Maddy? Why exactly did she need Stephan Stearns to come help her take care of Maddy? Because she knew she wouldn't be able to carry her body out alone? Because she needed help disposing of her body? Because she needed him to drop her off at the church dressed like Maddy that morning, so it would appear on surveillance video that he did drop her off at the church, like the story they rehearsed, and she really did get abducted? If you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a video on my channel about the church surveillance video too. What exactly did Jen Soto need Stephan Stearns to come to her condo to do to help her take care of Maddy? 'Cause I'll tell you what, she sure made sure to tell police in her interview that she called Stearns' dad to tell him to get Stearns an attorney. Not because of all the horrible things that he did to her precious daughter, but because she was positive they were focusing in on the wrong person. And as much as Stearns may not have wanted his fun to end, I can't imagine he had much of a leg to stand on, knowing Jen knew about all the sick photos he had of her daughter on his phone. You know, the ones the police showed her that shocked her exactly not at all. The ones she said were not evil. The photos she claims she knew nothing about. But who am I? I'm just a true crime YouTuber sharing out information about this case. I'm no expert. I have no idea how many lewd and disgusting illegal photos you'd have to have on your phone to be scared into disposing of a body, or to go along with someone's lie to protect yourself, or to protect another person to keep them from testifying against you. And I also don't know or understand how Jen was so comfortable sending her daughter, her 13-year-old daughter, upstairs to a bedroom alone with her boyfriend, with her roommates in the house. What if they saw? How was she so comfortable just blasé sending them upstairs to sleep together, knowing she had roommates in the rooms upstairs? It would have taken nothing for one of them to come out of their room and see the two of them going into the bedroom together. And what would that have looked like? How would Jen explain that? Or was she not worried about it because nobody else was home? Here are some of the calls Stephan made from jail to his parents early on after his arrest, when they were still questioning what happened to Madeline that night and why he wasn't telling police about Jen's involvement in Madeline's unaliving, before they decided later on to believe that their son did take Maddy's life and he was the sole person involved. If you're interested in hearing his parents talk about how they came to that conclusion, they did a 2-hour interview on Hidden True Crimes channel about 6 months ago that I just learned about, discussing it all. As for me, I respectfully disagree. Thank you so much for watching, and here are a few of Stephan Stearns' jail calls that have been released.
New at 4, new information from inside the man accused of murdering 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
New jailhouse phone calls from Stephan Stearns reveal what he told his parents following his arrest for Madeline's murder. West 2's Haley Crumbleholm is live in studio tonight with exactly what he said. Haley.
So at this point, we're still going through nearly 4 hours worth of phone calls. But in one clip, you hear Stephan Stearns talking to his parents about his state of mind and how he wishes he could have done some things differently.
Understand that anything I did was not done while being within my rational mind. I had snapped at that point. I wish I had done the correct thing to begin with. You know, I wish I had run downstairs and shaken her awake and called 911 and all that.
I wish she had too. Maybe she could have been saved, but
she was beyond that.
Another call, Stearns' mother is heard referencing who appears to be Jennifer Soto, Maddy's mother.
You know, Stephan, I can't help but get the feeling that none of this that was on the phone was a surprise to you.
She was aware that she had certain feelings towards me.
Yeah, well, then why would she send her in there to sleep with you?
She used to joke about it, you know, call it an electrocomplex. Used to joke and say, you better not leave me for my daughter when she's older, things like that.
It's important to note Jennifer Soto has not been charged with any crime connected to the disappearance or death of her daughter. In another call, Stearns' mother says she wishes he had come to them sooner and let them know what was going on. Stearns responds saying he was suffering from cowardice. Stearns' trial is scheduled to start in May, and just yesterday, there was a hearing on whether the public and media should be banned from attending court proceedings before his trial. The judge said he'd have a decision within 10 days.
And tonight we have newly released calls between Stephan Stearns and his parents. And I want to start with one clip where this accused killer is talking to his parents, and he's talking about the discovery of Madeline Soto's dead body.
I had gone downstairs for a while, and by the time I realized anything was wrong, it was just far too late. You know, she'd been gone for a while.
Okay.
Just seeing her pale face and blue lips and how ice cold she was, and it's created.
I was going to stay with you. Yeah,
yeah, I remember seeing my brother when he had passed away, and that's the last thing I remember seeing of him. And so.
Yeah, you know, it's just, you can tell.
Yes, you can. My dad, yeah.
It's just, when they're gone, really, really, truly gone, there's nothing you can do. There's no coming back.
Yeah.
The they he's talking about there when he says they're gone is 13-year-old Madeline Soto. This information is surprising, it's sickening, but it's also really the first time we've heard from this defendant that he was at least around the body of Madeline Soto before it was discovered by authorities. We have someone here with us who can talk about all the details. He's been there to Osceola, Florida. We have Cody Thomas, our field reporter here at Court TV, who's going to help us break these things down. So, Cody, talk to me about these calls, because he's on the phone with his parents, right?
Absolutely, Julia. And there was almost 4 hours of these calls, newly released calls today. And these calls were in the months after he was arrested for this murder, May, June, in that time frame of last year. Now, one of the most important questions that his mother asked him on one of these jail phone calls, she asked him if he was abused growing up. And her line of thinking is because, you know, he's accused of sexually abusing Madeline, that sexual abusers are usually sometimes abused themselves. He kind of reassures her that neither her nor his father did any of that stuff to him growing up. But then she flat out asks him, "Are you attracted to kids?" To which he answered, "Not generally attracted to kids." And then he goes on to kind of backtrack himself on this call with his parents, pretty much saying he doesn't want to incriminate himself. Take a listen to this portion.
Just that, you know, they say that sometimes when you know, like children, that you have been an abused child, and it was intimated that perhaps we had abused you in some way.
No, he has never did. And strictly speaking, I'm not actually into younger people like that. As you know, I don't even like most kids, so it's just hard to feel a generalized attraction towards any of them.
Was it just her, or was it other people as well?
I can't get into specific details, but no, it was not a thing with anybody. It was.
All right, got it.
But I don't want to get too much into details or
Yeah, I know.
confirm or deny anything officially, anything that could possibly be used against me. I mean, I haven't seen the inside of a courtroom yet, so it would be kind of stupid to be making anything that could be construed as an admission of guilt.
And Julia, you heard it there, that pause, assumed to be the names of maybe Madeline or even other minors that he might have mentioned to his parents. But as you were listening, it didn't really sound like a complete no to him being attracted to children or kids. And we also know, he's facing up to or more than 60 plus counts of sexual abuse. And he has a trial coming up for that in May.
I can't believe how calm, how normal they are sounding when they're talking about this, how casual, I guess is the word. But it seems like his mother is struggling with it, like she's trying to get some kind of explanation as to why her son could have done this, but maybe even to cover their own bases, make sure they are not being implicated at all. Tell me what else you found in these calls.
So then he ends up mentioning in another portion of these hours of released phone calls, he ends up mentioning Jen Soto, Madeline's mother. Now he talks about in this portion, everyone's suffering due to Madeline being found dead, including himself. He talks about how even goes on to sort of defend Jen Soto in her actions and feelings, in some of those interrogations, pretty much saying that her whole world has been turned upside down because of this. She's lost her daughter now, and, this is just a traumatic experience. Take a listen to this part.
Some of the nurses or officers were talking to each other like, let's just take the day off today. And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. You know what, guys? Let's all just take the day off today and come back tomorrow. Well, that would be counterproductive because they want people to suffer. Because suffer. Yeah. If I went home, that'd be, too tempting for me to do something and not go to trial, probably. So they want to make sure that they have their eyes on me at all times. But it's like I wouldn't waste too much energy having any sort of grudge or hurt feelings against her. She's suffering too in her own way. So, well, she lost her daughter. Her whole world was turned upside down too. Yeah, but everyone's world got turned upside down by this. No one is having a good time here.
So, Julie, you heard it there. No one is having a good time here. But as I was listening, I find it odd that he's speaking in this way, considering he's the one currently behind bars charged with her murder. The way he's speaking this way.
Exactly. Correct. And when you hear him talking there, it almost sounds like he's delusional about what situation he's in. Is there anything that you're hearing from him in these calls so far? I know you're still digging through them, and we're going to have more coming up later. But anything where he's showing that he understands the gravity of the situation?
So he ends up talking about potential sentences, and we know in the murder case, not the sex abuse case, but the murder case for Madeline, that he is facing the death penalty. And he actually mentions that to his parents, and he talks in a way that as if he's kind of accepting the very possible reality that he could be sentenced to death. Take a listen.
Murder one is about as bad as it can get, and the death penalty is about as extreme as it can go. I don't even know what method they use down here. Oh, I guess that's not so bad, right? You go to sleep and then you go to heaven.
Go to sleep and go to heaven. Like you said, he's sounding very calm, understanding that he could possibly die due to these crimes. And of course, that trial is set for September of this year, Julia. And again, like you said, we got hours upon hours more of these phone calls to go through. But on Monday night on Vinny Politan Investigates, we will have a huge extravaganza going through more of these calls, the rest of these calls. So we'll have a whole lot to blow up on Monday about this.
Field reporter Cody Thomas, thank you so much for
what life inside the Osceola County Jail has been like for Stephan Stearns, the man accused of murdering 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
It has consisted of hours of phone calls with his parents. West 2's Haley Crumblehome joining us in studio tonight. And Haley, you listened to what happened in some of those conversations.
That's right, and we're still working our way through the hours of phone calls. But after listening to a number of them, Stearns isn't taking responsibility for Maddy's murder. Instead, telling his parents he found her after she had died.
You have a call at no expense to you from
Stephan Stearns,
an inmate at
Osceola County Corrections.
Hours and hours of jail phone calls were released Friday between Stephan Stearns and his parents. In multiple conversations, Stearns paints a vague picture of what happened the night Maddy was killed.
And I know you can't talk about this, but it's like, it almost sounds like you didn't know something had happened to her.
Well, I discovered her in the state that she was in after everything was said and done. So I mean, obviously I can't get into detail, but no, I was not aware that she had passed on. As you know, I'm up and down throughout the night, and I was not in the room the whole time.
We know from reports that Stearns and Maddy Soto would sometimes share a bed in a townhome Maddy's mother shared with roommates. In the same phone call, Stearns' father asks,
Was there anybody else at the townhome that was not a regular person?
No, which is why I keep saying that I'm not sure that there's any one person, honestly, to blame. But they're certainly trying to blame me.
Stearns is not only accused of killing Maddy, but taking her body and leaving it in a field in Kissimmee. He's also accused of sexually assaulting the 13-year-old for years. In multiple conversations, Stearns' parents seem to be asking who else could be responsible. Even in a conversation after Stearns found out prosecutors would be seeking the death penalty, with him telling his parents he's at peace with it and it's the easier way out.
Are you going to be accepted? Going to be the fall guy for this? Is that the deal?
Stearns says it's that or spending the rest of his natural life in a place where no one will care about him.
I mean, I think whoever's involved in this needs to have justice served on them. I mean, if you're not part of this, then let's get that cleared up. I mean, it's not for you, but for the family.
I'm pretty positive that this was all an accident. I'm not sure that any one person is to blame. Maybe no one's to blame, or maybe everyone's to blame a little bit.
Now, it's important to note no one else is facing charges in connection with Maddy's death.
She was acting kind of weird before she went to sleep, so I don't know what was going on there.
New details tonight surrounding the jail calls between Stephan Stearns and his parents. Stearns is talking about the night Maddy Soto died. Stearns is accused of killing the 13-year-old. On the phone, he claims it was all an accident.
Fox 35's Kelsey Cairns listened to all the new audio and shares how Stearns describes the relationship.
We listened to all 34 jailhouse calls between Stephan Stearns and his parents. What is revealed in those calls is Stearns' alleged account of Maddy's death, his relationship with Maddy, and his own parents' reaction to the possibility of the death penalty in their son's murder case.
Press 0 to make a prepaid collect call.
One day after seeing Stephan Stearns in court for the first time, we are hearing his account of what allegedly happened leading up to Maddy Soto's death in jailhouse calls.
You know, Stephan, I could never have imagined that we would all be in this situation.
Made to his parents about 3 months after the 13-year-old was killed.
Well, I mean, things kind of went sideways, whatever happened with, so you knew that was going to go down a rat hole.
Yeah, well, I never in a million years that she would not be around anymore.
In one of the calls, Stearns talks about the night before Maddy was reported missing.
She was acting kind of weird before she went to sleep, so I don't know what was going on there.
In another call, he talks about finding Maddy's body.
I wish I'd run downstairs and shaken her awake and called 911 and all that. You know, when someone's that ice cold and just gone.
She was in a different part of the house?
Yeah.
She wasn't with you?
Well, she had gone to be with me earlier in the night.
His mother weighing in, saying she doesn't think Stearns killed Maddy. She hints that Stearns' relationship with the teen was causing strain in his then romantic relationship with Maddy's mother.
There's jealousy on the other side, too. I mean, if she told you, I hope you don't leave me for my daughter, that tells me that she was thinking about that for a while.
Maddy's mother is not facing any charges in this case. When news broke about the possibility of the death penalty for Stearns,
We got the news then that they filed this morning to seek the death penalty.
then a brief pause.
How are you guys holding up?
Well, we're just waiting for this to play out.
Stearns' parents confront their son about his demeanor.
Our understanding and impression is that you didn't do this, so why do you feel at peace and serenity with it?
And the prospect of spending the rest of my natural life in a very miserable place before I eventually die alone with no one to care about me or give a shit that I've passed on.
There is a possibility that Stearns' trial could be closed to the media after his attorneys appeared before a judge on Thursday, essentially saying that the mass media attention in this case may be tainting the jury pool. Reporting in Orange County tonight, I'm Kelsey Cairns, Fox 35 News.
Your account balance is $40.13. The cost of this call will be 21 cents for the first minute and 21 cents for each additional minute, excluding taxes and other applicable fees. The time limit is 15 minutes.
Press 0 to continue or
Hello, you have a call at no expense to you from
Stephan Stearns.
inmate at
Osceola County Corrections Department.
To accept this call, press or say 5. To refuse this call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking now.
Stephan,
Hey,
where the hell you been?
I've been trying to call. They've had us on lockdown so often. Every time I've asked, we've been on a Code 5 lockdown.
Okay.
Which means I've been unable to call. I've been trying to call all weekend, too.
So you've been on lockdown all this time?
Off and on, yes. On the days that I've asked, we've happened to be on lockdown, which means either an incident has happened or they're just so understaffed that they have to lock everyone down. It's probably more to do with the staffing.
Okay. How you been?
Well, you know, had the world's shittiest birthday present, so.
Yeah. And then you didn't call, so I'm assuming because of changes that they prevented you from calling?
No, they were actually moving me around a lot, shuffling back and forth, so I was having to get my phone privileges jockeyed back and forth, which takes a little while. And then, like I said, the days that I was asking, we happened to be on lockdown on those days. So it's just been inconvenient.
Okay.
Very inconvenient timing, and then we were on lockdown all weekend. I wanted to call my mom's birthday. I tried to call yesterday. I tried to call Saturday, and it was no go anytime. So, but I've been wanting to call. How have you been?
I'm trying to put this on speaker.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put this on speaker. Okay.
How have you been? Can you hear me?
Good. Can you hear us?
Yes. Is Mom there with you?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
What's that?
Stephan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Is Mom with you?
Hang on a second.
Okay.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Stephan,
You can hear me? Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, that's on speaker.
Okay. Is Mom there?
Yes, Mom's with me now.
Okay. Happy birthday, belated birthday, Mom, and happy belated Mother's Day.
Hi, sweetheart. I was so hoping to hear from you. I'm so glad I'm hearing from you now.
Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't able to call you all weekend. They had us on lockdown, so no one was able to do anything.
Were you expecting these charges?
No.
The murder charge.
Oh, well, we know you didn't.
Okay, so you got blindsided by that.
Yeah. Obviously, you know, it's not true. You know, I never would have wanted her gone for any reason, so, you know, premeditated first degree is kind of a dick punch.
Yeah.
No, I was wondering if you had any updates or anything.
Nope, we haven't heard a thing. Just, you know, speculation that she's been
Hiding
put in an institution and hiding in an institution.
at her lawyer's request.
Yeah.
I mean, are you cooperating with police about her participation in any of this stuff?
There's been no opportunity for me to cooperate with anything. As I understand, the police keep saying that I'm uncooperative, but they haven't asked me anything to cooperate with, so whatever that means.
So your attorney isn't approaching them and saying, my client would like to speak with you?
No, my attorneys are pretty much saying to keep my mouth shut until the trial starts.
Well, okay.
Okay. I don't know why they were going to wait till the trial, but that's their business, not mine.
They don't want anything to hurt my chances.
Yeah, understand. Okay.
Hey, what was Joey's last name?
Beltry?
Yeah, Veltri.
Joey Beltry? Beltry?
Beltry.
Beltry or Beltry?
Veltri with a V. Like victory.
V.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, it's basically, well, obviously this confirms that they're artificially inflating everything up as high as they can possibly do it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So I don't know
what
the plan is there, if they're just trying to scare me into pleading down, or I don't know.
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're just trying to hurt me as much as possible.
Are you able to share the Saturday night before you left for Kissimmee? You were pretty upset about something. Did it have to do anything with Kissimmee and the events that took place the next couple of days?
No.
Okay.
No, I was just stressed out about money and job and everything like that.
Some woman got on a YouTube thing and said that you weren't even at the party.
Party?
Yeah, her birthday party.
Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. I went up there Sunday evening and got there after she was done at her party.
Oh, okay.
And we were very happy that I was there. We were very happy that the three of us were together. It was shaping up to be a great week and a great visit. You know, there's no reason for anything to happen that happened.
Is there some explanation of I came up Wednesday morning, met you at the hotel early in the morning, and is there some explanation why you left and went where you went?
I was driving around.
Okay, understood you were driving around, but they know where you were driving around.
Yeah. Well,
and we know.
Okay. I had wanted to grab a few things and get my ducks in a row, kind of prepare myself for whatever was coming, but I couldn't find what I was looking for.
Okay.
And then I ended up just kind of driving around aimlessly.
Okay. I mean, you asked me to come up, and we hardly spent 35 minutes the entire time I was there throughout the entire day. And it's like, I wasn't sure why I was there, and then I was caught off guard by what happened later that afternoon, and obviously haven't seen you since.
Yeah, well, I just felt like I needed an ally there.
Well, I wish you had come to me and talked to me about about some stuff, and maybe we could have helped you out in some way, giving you some advice. But certainly, under the extenuating circumstances, what was later discovered obviously couldn't help you any further than what had already taken place. So the most logical thing would be to have, face up to it and have a conversation with the appropriate authorities or get an attorney or something. But be that as it may. Yep.
Well, we got a copy of your birth certificate for Sheila Marino and for your case. We're trying to get hospital records from the TBI, but Sarasota Memorial says you were never a patient there, so that was ridiculous because we know you were.
Yeah. And were you able to find my Social Security card?
Yes.
Good. I presume it was probably in that mouse toy box with everything?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't.
It's in my,
No, I don't recall where it was, but it wasn't. It wasn't there. But
I don't remember if you had confirmed or not. Were you able to find my watch?
No, we weren't.
Yeah.
So
there was no popcorn box.
Little silver mouse
we already
toy.
had your Social Security card, so why did you think we needed? I already knew your number. I don't know why did you think we need to find the card?
Just in case I was going to need it in the future.
Okay. Well, we have that.
How long I'm going to be here, or if or when I'll ever be released, or if you guys are going to be around at that point. But birth certificate, Social Security card might be things I'll need in that case.
Well, the penalty for the crimes you have been charged with carry a minimum 40-year sentence. So obviously we're going to be gone. Rick will be gone. We'll all be gone. I mean, we're sad about that, obviously, because there won't be anybody here for you when you come out.
Yeah, and I'll be lucky if I have another 40 years left in me either, so.
Yeah.
And then I guess everything sticks.
I wish there was a way that, you and I can have a conversation, all of us could have a conversation to understand what's taken place, how this came about, how you arrived here, because it would help us better understand the situation, because we're at a loss for understanding how all this came about. I mean, we're just totally baffled.
Well, I didn't start it.
Oh, you didn't start it, but you participated in it, which is just as bad as not starting it, but that's for another day. Again, I don't know
details or anything, but, I mean, if you'd like to schedule a visit with me or something, maybe we can find some way to talk.
I don't know. I think we're always going to be recorded, so there won't be an opportunity to do that. Now, we have to make arrangements for you to sign off on a power of attorney so we can do something with this car.
Yeah.
And I would have to bring a document over. They won't even let me see you. I would just hand it to the classification officer. He would bring it in, you'd sign it, they would notarize it, give it back to me, and I would leave.
Okay. I think I just got the 1-minute warning.
Okay.
So yeah. Give them whatever you need, and I'll sign whatever I need to sign. In the meantime, I'll try to call back in the next couple of days and we'll talk some more. If you wouldn't mind putting a little more money in my commissary as well.
All right, I can't do much stuff because we are really, when I say dead ass broke, I mean dead ass broke, but I'll do what I can.
Okay, I appreciate it.
That could change, but right now, for the next 30 days, we are definitely in lockdown.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, all right. I'll try to get over there within the week to get that POA taken care of.
Okay. There's a 15-minute cool down before I can call back. I'll see if I can call back again. If not, I'll try to call back in the next couple of days.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Okay. All right. I love you. Bye.